So how do you optimize for best value when you're investing in any asset class, especially real estate? So how do you optimize for best value? Stick to the end. I'm going to share something, in my opinion, very profound. You know, I'm learning every day and I like to share that with you so that you can derive the same kind of value that I'm getting from other investors who are sometimes more experienced than me. I never claim to be the most knowledgeable. Okay, my name is Fahd Dawood. I talk about real estate, Dubai, your life, my life, and our path to financial bliss. Okay, I've been doing this for 14 plus years. Started in Toronto, Canada, and then since 2007 in Dubai, right? And I'm also the author of The Intelligent Real Estate Investor. You can download it from there. I think there should be a link down below, or you can buy it off Amazon. If you want to work with me, means you want to buy a property or you want advice, reach out to me. There is a form, a contact form rather, in the description. If you want general help and you've got a general question, hit me up in the comment section below, and I generally make videos and then share them as a response on YouTube. Okay, so check this out. I learned something quite profound, in my opinion, recently. So those of you who know me know that instead of pushing for a disorganized, speculative, gambling, gut feel approach to real estate investment, I advocate a more systemized, process-driven, framework-driven approach to real estate investment, so that, you know, we leave as little as possible to chance and make informed decisions based on a framework, a process, something that helps and guides you to make good essential decisions. Okay, one of the things that happens in this framework that I've developed for real estate investments is that maybe I can take these out so you can see my eyes. Okay, when I am in the sun, I'll put them back on. Okay. So here's something that I would actually tell you. The way I developed my framework was going through my own investments that I started in 2008, working as a real estate agent. I've been doing this for many years, over thousands of transactions, and then other investors that I help, because, you know, sometimes an investor is like 70 odd years, maybe he's a billionaire. It just happens to be a fact of life that they have a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge that they can share, and then I learn from them. So it's a back and forth process where I'm continuously learning from the investors as well, and then including those points that they bring up into my framework. Okay, one point I want to share with you is something that an investor said to me, and he said, look, Fahd, when we go to the market and we're looking for investments, let's optimize for best value. And then what hit me and what I understood when he said, let's optimize for best value, I said, what would be best value? Because during my real estate strategy session, I come up with a strategy for every single investor based on a 5 or a 7 point criteria that defines best value for them, right? So, of course, he's a busy investor, multi-millionaire, perhaps a billionaire, but when he said optimize for best value, you got to remember, investors are going to say stuff like a few words, but you have to translate and understand them, right? So what he essentially is saying is, let's optimize for best value based on the investment criteria that we've defined. Now, what do I mean by this? You need to understand something. When you're looking to optimize for best value, you have to have defined a criteria for investment beforehand, because two investors or two real estate buyers could have completely different end goals. For instance, an end user, let's call an end user who's looking to live in the property, also an investor. Okay, whether he's a real investor or not is a debate for another day, but let's call him an investor as well. Let's say an end user, so I'm giving exaggerated examples so that point is clear. Let's say an end user has a wife who loves marble in all the bedrooms, the main foyer, the living room, etc., so on and so forth, right? Now we obviously know that, you know, having marble flooring costs a little bit extra, right? When you're buying it from the developer, they might charge you anywhere between $100,000 up to $500,000, depending on how big the house or the apartment is, right? Just because it comes into the luxury category. Now, for an end user investor, that's a criteria, and when we are looking to optimize for best value, we're going to be looking at the best developers providing the best luxury that have a good track record of giving good luxury. Or if you're buying from the resale market, a ready apartment or a villa, we would make sure that the criteria that's been defined so that his wife is happy is something that we look at, and that would mean best value for that person. On the other hand, an investor who's looking for yield optimization, so he wants maximum net income coming to him year on year, he wants to resell at a capital profit in 5 or 10 years, so on and so forth. His criteria is very different. And so when I'm maximizing for best value, I'm going to be doing two very different things based on the criteria defined. Like for instance, I'll give you an example, a recent example. One of my investors, for them it was very, very important that the moment they enter the apartment or the property, it should be very open, right? So we're looking for best value in that category. One of my investors, it's very important for her to start off with the right investment. She doesn't want to go crazy on the price. She doesn't want to get a super distressed deal. She wants a safe investment that allows her to test the waters. Sort of like, you know, perhaps if you want to get your feet wet a little bit, that's how you would approach it. She's not looking for the best deal, super saver. She wants to just understand how real estate operates, and she wants to get involved in the real estate business. I hope that makes sense. And for this investor, you know, who I was mentioning, for him it was about yield optimization. So we're going to be optimizing for best value in that area. Now, something or a word of caution that I would actually state over here: you optimize for best value, and you know, each word that you look at, optimize means maximizing the value of resources, best means the best in that category, and value means essentially you're getting more for your money that you're paying. While you're optimizing for best value, you have to also ensure that you're not over optimizing, right? So what do I mean? Let's say that this gentleman who's an investor, he's looking for good properties, the maximum yield rate. Now the maximum yield in Dubai, I don't want to name those places, but some of those places are pretty darn bad in terms of quality. But the yields are pretty high because, you know, you sort of become like a slumlord. You own properties in the slum, and then you can basically gouge prices in some form or the other, or you can give it to bachelors or other people, like, you know, in an apartment in Dubai, it's illegal for too many people to be living. But if you do it illegally and then you put in like 10 people in an apartment, obviously you're going to end up making more money, but it's illegal. I don't advise to do that. So now, if for this investor I was optimizing for best value, I'm not going to optimize it so bad, so hard, so extreme that I start buying properties which are going to be poorly maintained or are going to have serious maintenance issues coming up fairly shortly, right? I wouldn't do that. Similarly, for the person who's looking to buy as an end user, you know, they're always going to be defining a budget. Now, obviously, some people can go a little bit over budget. That's fine. You know, what are you going to do? Take all the money to the grave? You can't, right? So spend a little bit, make yourself and your family happy. That's fine. But at the same time, I'm going to advise them, look, if we're going to buy marble, we still need to find the best property, because, you know, you might buy marble, but you got to remember that the other person who you might be looking to resell your property to in, I don't know, 10 years, 20 years, they might not appreciate the level of marble that you have. So if you go too extreme to optimizing what you're getting, you're going to end up losing money in the long term. However, if it makes you happy wife, happy life. If it makes your wife happy, then, you know, doesn't matter, then you can go for it. Okay, so I hope that made sense, because it made a lot of sense to me. I wanted to share that with you guys. Like, optimize for best value within the criteria that you define. So, there's two things that I'm saying here. I'm not just saying optimize for best value. It's also very important for you to define the criteria and then optimize for that, because if you do that, then you're well off. If you want to reach out to me, there is a contact form below, specifically if you want to buy a property and you want to work with me. If you've got general comments, or if you agree, if you disagree as well, I'm happy to hear from you. Just put it in the comment section below and I'll be happy to respond. Sometimes you've got super general questions that other people can also benefit from. Just put them in the comment section and I'll answer them. Give me as much detail as possible. If it's too specific, I won't answer it, because then it's very specific to your particular situation. Then you just have to reach out to me, and that's a paid service if you want to work with me. Hey, press the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, hit the bell notification if you want to know about when new videos are coming out. If this has helped you a lot or at all, share the video, share it with your friends. I'd be super grateful. Ciao for now. Bye.